Well, we all know what is a data lake, and actually we have used data lake in this particular course couple of times, which is actually our Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So we know that we can store a huge amount of data inside a data lake, but we don't know what is a delta lake, and now that's the time to understand a delta lake actually, and we also need to understand delta lake architecture in this. So let's focus on this first. So what is a data lake? The data lake stores a large volume of structured, semi-structured or unstructured data, in short all kind of data in its native format. Mostly data lake is like welcoming all kind of data from no matter which kind of source it is. Data lake architecture has evolved in recent years to better meet the demands of increasingly data-driven enterprises as the data volume continues to rise. We are living in a world where data is increasing every day, and then when we have huge amount of data, the data lake which was invented before a few years has actually some evolution inside that, and then this evolution has changed the data lake structure also with that. And from that only we got something which is known as delta lake. Before I explain what is a delta lake, let me tell you one thing guys. Delta lake is not one of the new service of Azure cloud. It's not a service. It's actually a conceptual architecture, and you have to implement this conceptual architecture with your data lake only. So when you're going to use your data lake Gen 2, you are going to associate that in such a way that it is going to be treated like a delta lake. So what is this? Well, the delta lake is an open source storage layer that brings reliability and performance to your existing data lakes. So why and how this is going to bring reliability and performance actually, and why it is required, that is something which we are going to focus right now. They are saying Delta Lake provides ACID transactions, scalable metadata handling, and unified streaming and batch data processing. Now all these things are obviously missing in the normal data lake. Most of the time data is just going to store the huge amount of data inside the data lake kind of services, but it's not associating with ACID transaction. I hope you heard about ACID transactions, atomicity, consistency, whatever. And when you want scalable metadata handling, or you want some unified or structured streaming kind of things, all these things were actually missing from the data lake architecture, where Delta Lake is actually focusing on this kind of things. The Delta Lake runs on top of your existing data lake. So it's not a new service, as I said. On your existing data lake only this is going to be running, and it is fully compatible with Apache Spark APIs. That's one of the reasons when you're going to use your Synapse notebooks or you're going to use your Databricks notebooks, your Apache Spark APIs will directly associate with your data lake, and then you can implement Delta Lake with that. In order to understand this concept properly, let's focus on this next slide. This is actually something which is a Delta Lake architecture. Now I have two variations of this architecture. This is a simpler one. If you focus on this architecture, left side you have a data which is maybe a batch data or streaming data, which is going to be ingested into this Delta Lake architecture. The bottom layer of this Delta Lake architecture, you can see, is nothing but your same existing data lake. On top of this data lake, you're going to implement Delta Lake, where we have three different variations of our data. We have something which is known as bronze table, silver table, and gold table. Some people call this thing layers also, bronze layer, silver layer, and gold layer of your data. And these layers are actually making it spatial. These layers are actually going to have a different kind of processed, unprocessed data inside that, which are going to make this thing spatial. Now most of the time when you have a data in bronze, silver, and gold, each layer is having some characteristics of the data. The final layer of this particular data is gold layer or gold tables. This is actually the one which is going to be used with your Azure machine learning and some other further processing. But then the process is actually going to start from the bronze. Most of the time your bronze layer or bronze tables are going to have your streaming data, batch data, which is coming from various sources. Once the data is stored inside the bronze layer, we will pick the data and we are going to refine those data with some kind of additional joins or some other meaningful associations with that. This meaningful refined tables are going to be treated as a silver layer or silver tables with that. But after that also, silver tables are not ready to be processed or not something which is exactly looking for the business requirement, and that's why on the silver tables we are going to apply some kind of aggregates. These aggregates are going to be applied, and then final data layer is going to be created, which is your gold layer, which is going to be further useful in the processing of Power BI or maybe machine learning or maybe some artificial intelligence kind of things. These three layers are actually making this Delta Lake architecture special, and that's why let's deep dive into these words which are bronze, silver, and gold. Hey guys, sorry for interruption. My name is Maruti and I'm here to make a very important announcement. I hope you are liking our videos and you're doing a continuous learning with us on an Azure cloud and AI related topics. If you are enjoying this thing, I'm going to announce skilltech.club, which is our upcoming website, which is going to be launched very soon. We are here to tell you one thing, that everyone who is a subscriber of this particular channel will get Azure Cloud and Azure AI related certification courses free of cost in skilltech.club. So you will be a part of the skilltech.club kind of a membership automatically free of cost. And everyone who's a subscriber of this particular channel will get those benefits which are available in that. So what are you waiting for? I request you to please subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends and families if they are also interested in Azure Cloud and AI learning. That's it from my side. Now you can carry on with your learning. Thank you. If I focus on this, the answer says that the bronze table contains raw data ingested from its various sources. It can be JSON, RDBMS, IoT data, or maybe some data coming from the Event Hub kind of live streaming. This bronze data is going to be further processed into a silver. So silver tables will provide more refined view of our data. Most of the time in this case, you can join the fields from various bronze tables to enrich your streaming records. Or maybe you can update your account statuses based on the recent activities. It's something which is a further processing or data preparation kind of thing which you are applying on top of your bronze layer. Once the silver layer is processed, you are going to have the final layer process from this, which is gold tables. These gold tables are going to provide business level aggregates and often used for reporting and dashboarding, or maybe for machine learning and model creations. This would include aggregations such as maybe it's going to be daily active website users you want to see, or maybe you want to get a sales per store, or maybe you want to associate with the gross revenue per quarter for any particular company and department. This kind of more meaningful data is going to be used in my gold layer. And then this transition of data from bronze to silver to gold is the heart of your Delta Lake architecture. The end outputs are actionable insights, dashboards, and reports which maybe you're going to associate with any existing service. This Delta Lake architecture, if you understand with this bronze, silver, and gold, the detailed view of this particular architecture is going to be somehow going to look like this. Now, if you see right now, my Delta Lake architecture is actually focusing only on this box, but I want you to see the full picture of the Delta Lake architecture, and that's the reason I have associated this Delta Lake architecture with the other services which are associated with that. You can see I'm taking a scenario of Databricks right now, because exactly after this video, I'm going to show you how you can implement Delta Lake architecture with Databricks actually. In this case, obviously, the flow is going to start from the streaming data or maybe a batch data which is coming from various sources. All the sources of data which are coming into this will be ingested into this particular Databricks. And then that is going to be stored inside my data lake as a Delta Lake, and that is going to be my bronze layer of my data. Once bronze layer of data is there, we are going to take the data and we are going to do some data preparation, ETL kind of things on that. And from bronze, we are going to get another layer of the data, which is going to be silver. These are going to be much more refined tables as we discuss, but this is not something which is having some business related aggregates on that. So we'll take the silver tables and then we are going to apply some extraction, some aggregators on that, and then we are going to have a final layer of the data which is going to be my gold layer. Technically guys, this gold layer is actually nothing but your data mart. This is the one which is focusing on some business features and capabilities with that, and that data is the final produced data of this process, which is going to be further stored into maybe a cloud data warehouse like Synapse, or maybe it can be directly associated with the Power BI or maybe Tableau or maybe some other related product, where we can either generate reports or we can use this for machine learning, model training, or some other purpose which can be there. This full process, this full architecture is actually showing you that how Delta Lake is going to be an important part for your end-to-end data processing, which is happening with this kind of Databricks or Azure Synapse kind of services. This is going to be a complex architecture to understand, but I'll be giving you one guarantee that if you understand this architecture and if you know how to implement this thing this way, in most organizations, in your projects, when you're doing data analytics, this is going to be the heart of that architecture. Now, if you understood this architecture, I want you to take a screenshot of this particular one and then just make sure that you are going to refer this thing in our next sample. Next two videos are going to show you how you can implement Delta Lake architecture with Databricks actually. So let's have a look at that one. I hope you understood the architecture, and it will be much more clear when you see this thing practically how it is going to be implemented in Databricks. Thank you.